Hello, welcome to Live with Jill and Frank. My name is Jill Petrie. I'm a psychic medium and author.
And I am Frank. I'm a coach and I'm a spiritual guide.
And tonight we have a special guest. We have Aggie Thibodaux with us. Is Aggie still in here?
I will bring her in with us.
Okay. I
There
didn't
we are.
see her, so I was wondering what was going on with that.
Well, I was waiting for us to introduce her.
Okay, so this is Aggie. And Aggie, we're gonna let you do your own introduction because you can say it better than we can.
Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Aggie Thibodaux. I'm a PLPC, which is a provisional licensed professional counselor. Sorry, it's new to say. As well as a practitioner, and I've been practicing Reiki for the past 6 years. I'm currently here in Thibodaux. I own the Reiki Room. And as you can see at the bottom, flashing is my website, thereikiroom.co. I just completed my master's degree in mental health counseling and will be walking across the stage on December 10th. So I'm super excited about that and passed my counselor's licensure exam
Wow.
on yesterday. So one less step down the path of being fully licensed. So yes, are we out
Congratulations.
tonight?
Nice. Nice.
Thank
Congratulations.
you.
So now you're going like, okay, what do I do next? I'm done everything. Yeah,
I don't
No.
know. You never stop
What to do
learning. I
next
don't
is get clients and move on to that path.
yeah, of course.
so what has changed? We had Aggie on episode 2, I believe. That was may have been in July,
Mhm.
right? So what has changed for you in the last few months since we've spoken with you on live, as far as the expanding from just doing Reiki to now offering counseling services?
Yeah, so in September, I became a provisional licensed professional counselor. It's part of licensure processing. You have to do 2 years of apprenticeship before you become fully licensed. But I am able to offer counseling services now. So I'm here in Thibodeau. I'm listed on Psychology Today if you're interested in scheduling an appointment. Mostly look to do clients who are dealing with stress, anxiety, maybe looking to change their life goals, figure out a new path for them. That kind of stuff is mostly what I'm working with currently. And I've finished my master's since the last time we've spoken as well.
Nice.
So yeah, there's been a lot. There's been a lot that's happened, truly.
So
Yeah.
are you how do you plan to are you gonna like incorporate Reiki with counseling? Like are you offering services in both to the same people if needed? Like how are you incorporating that in?
Yes, I am planning. I do offer both services to people who see me as counseling clients and who see me as Reiki clients. What it is normally you'll come in for a normal counseling session. We'll get to know each other. We'll do an intake, that kind of stuff. And then from there, we kind of do, depending on what's going on, maybe this week you needed to really process and talk about these issues that are going on. And then maybe the week next, we may say, okay, well, we talked about it. And so let's work on it internally. Let's work on it through Reiki. So then maybe we'll do a session of Reiki. So it could be a every other week situation where we come in one week and we discuss what's kind of going on. And it can be next week, we'd maybe do some energetic healing on that part. Or we can even do it, during a session, maybe 30 minutes of talk therapy and maybe we do 30 minutes of Reiki. It kind of just depends on where the person is
Mhm.
in their process and what's best for them. There's no right or wrong way to do this. It's more or less what the other person is experiencing and what they need.
I like the interaction between the two though. Like going from talk therapy and sometimes talk therapy will only take you so far, right? Like whatever's not going to come in is not going to come in. But now you're doing Reiki and that might open up a new way, a new pathway where the person will be able to hear what happens in talk therapy. I really like the interaction between the two. That's awesome.
Yeah, that was the thought process. I had previously seen a therapist that offered Reiki and counseling, and I thought it was such a great modalities to blend together, especially if you're open to energetic healing, and knowing that the mind body soul connection is actually there, and that we receive our physical dis-ease from our emotional dis-ease, right? It starts all in the emotions of what we're experiencing through life and that kind of stuff, and metastasizes into something physical. So your physical attributes and things that are happening inside of you didn't just magically pop up. Those things happen because you've been dealing with emotions that you haven't yet processed, or that it's been stuck inside you. So here's a way to say, maybe you don't have the words for it, but we can facilitate the healing through Reiki. I also do breath work as well, which is conscious breathing. It's 45 minutes of conscious nonstop inhalations and exhalations. And that too opens up some new channels in the mind, because you're oxygenating your body so much that it allows you to be able to access places in your subconscious that you're not able to access regularly.
Just the action of breathing. I mean, just learning to breathe properly itself is already something quite life changing. Like knowing that at any time when
Absolutely.
you're stressed out, when you're all freaking out, you can kind of go, okay, wait a minute, and then you bring yourself back, and you're like, okay, we're good.
So
The
is
day
that
goes
three
on.
different options, like the Reiki, the the learning how to breathe, and also the therapy?
Yes.
So it's three different things
Yes.
that
Three
you
different
that you
options.
can put into one, or it can maybe need one or the other, or two, or
Absolutely. It can be all meshed together where we do a combination of Reiki, breath work, and counseling. It can be where you come in and do Reiki and breath work. It can be where you do them all singular. It's truly customized for what the person needs and wants.
So it's basically here's your hour. Let's make it count.
Mhm.
Let's make it whatever
Absolutely.
will work the
It's your
best.
hour, what works the best for you, and that's what we do.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's a very good holistic approach too.
Do you find a
It's
lot of
very
counselors are getting into Reiki now? Like, have you noticed that a lot? Because I know you said you went to a counselor with that was certified in Reiki, and now you're doing the same thing. Like, is that like a new thing?
Um, Not necessarily. The person I did see was out in Metairie at the time. This was several years back. Um, and she did it. I don't know of anybody else here who locally who puts the two together completely in sessions. I know some
Mhm.
counselors who are certified as well, um, but not necessarily making it part of their practice. I think it's coming. I think it's something that's most definitely on the track, but it hasn't completely gotten here yet.
What about hypnotherapy? Is that something that
So
you're
I
looking
don't
into
offer
for the
that,
future?
but not currently. But my supervisor, who I do counseling with, she actually is certified in hypnotherapy. So she provides those types of services for our clients at the moment.
Okay. So
so.
maybe you could tell us, since like we do have different viewers now, maybe you could tell us a little bit about Reiki, like you did before, for those like the new people that don't really
Okay.
understand what Reiki is and how Reiki works. And
Yeah,
are you still
Okay.
only seeing people in
Yeah.
person,
So
or are
right.
you offering virtually now?
distance.
So I am offering virtual. It's not listed on my website. It's kind of like a as needed situation. If somebody emails me, that kind of stuff, I only do 30-minute virtual sessions. An hour virtual session is just not practical right now. So we do 30-minute ones. Those are $30 a session for a virtual session of Reiki. There's no virtual sessions of breath work currently. I prefer to do that in person. I prefer to do Reiki in person, to be honest with you, if I am to be completely honest. But if um, you're outside of the area and that's impossible for you to get here, then most definitely I'd love to be able to assist you in facilitating any of that. But just to give a little bit of information about what Reiki is and what you can kind of expect. So, Reiki is energetic healing. It is the process of placing hands on the body to facilitate healing. You start at the head and you work your way all the way around the body, and it facilitates emotional and physical healing. We all know that touch in general, somebody gives you a hug that feels good, it gives you that energy. It helps. So this alone is touch therapy with intention of here to heal what you need to heal, not to heal what I need to heal what you need to heal. So sometimes people come in with intention. Sometimes people come in and just say, I'm here for a session. I just want to see what it's about. I want to see how I feel. People get different sensations and different things for each session. Everybody is different in what they pick up and what they release or what they learn from their sessions. So it's real relaxing. It's quiet music playing. It's a lot like a massage as far as that goes, where it's quiet music. It's real peaceful. It's real relaxing. If it's anything, it's relaxing. It's really good for people who have depression, anxiety, PTSD, any type of trauma, that kind of stuff. It gives your body that time to get out of that flight or fight mode and put your body in rest so that your body can start healing, so that you can do the healing. I'm not the healer. The person is the healer. I facilitate the healing for the person.
So someone that doesn't even have a problem would get benefits from Reiki. Agreed. Like if you just want to
Agreed.
know what it's about, and you come
Absolutely.
and just be open to the experience that you have and what you get from
Right.
it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Just being open to what you get. Like I said, everybody can use an hour of relaxation. I don't know anybody who doesn't have any stress. If you can find them for me, send them my way. I'd love to know their secret. Um, but yeah, just an hour of, if you're a parent, an hour of no kids, an hour of just peace, an hour of just relaxing. That alone is helpful to your body, that alone is helpful to any type of healing that you may be feeling.
Hmm. That's true. Well,
Because
even
we
even
may
on
not
a
even know what we need to heal.
even I always tell people, like, I don't care if you meditate, like, just, and even on a daily basis, like, whatever, take 20 minutes, go sit alone. Go
Right.
do, even if you don't even take a practice, just go and say, how's my day going? How am I doing? What's going on in my
Right.
life? Right? Because we never stop and ask. And it's like just doing that. So anything that allows us to learn to stop, to relax, to get out of fight or flight, it's like, oh, I can be human again. I'm not fighting
Right.
monsters every day. Like,
Right.
Hello,
because,
There's
Nick.
there is no tiger chasing us, right?
yes,
There's none of that. And I feel like that's where we're at a lot of the time, like regardless of work stress, home stress, finances, it's all stress
it's
that
because
all
we're equipped
contributes
with
to
the
your
wrong
body.
tool. We're equipped with
Right.
the wrong reaction for the right, like the problem is not the same anymore, but we're
Right.
still having the reaction to the tiger. And so now we go
Absolutely.
to work, get stressed, and react like there's a tiger, and we're like, ah. So we run because fighting. What the hell are we gonna fight? Sometimes we fight, but then we get fired. Uh, you know what I mean? So it's like,
Right.
and so we need to like step out of that and go, okay, wait a minute. I don't have to be like this. I can just take my time, relax, and all of a sudden, as you slow down life, you become able to accomplish more. It,
Absolutely.
it's so
Because
fun.
your body and your mind is at rest, right? You can be creative when your mind and body is at rest. You can make new ideas and be here for people and do what you need to do to take care of you because you can't pour from an empty cup.
Yeah, exactly. That's a big one.
You can't, and a lot of times we feel like we got to take on the stresses of everybody and the stresses of the world and hold it all up here and here and here. And I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm doing good. I
Yeah,
got this. I got this. When
I do
all
that.
the time, you're neglecting you.
Yep, I tend to do that
And you
easily.
can't hold this, right? You can't hold this if you're gone.
No,
If
no,
you're
I
not
can't.
here anymore or sick or injured because you wasn't taking care of yourself, you can't hold this.
You gotta
So
stop.
You
Yeah.
got to stop and realize that, that doesn't mean you can't help anybody. It doesn't mean you can't do other things for other people. It doesn't mean that, but it means, hey, you're just as important as everybody else you're
Yeah.
helping. It's
I
everybody
think
else
that's
that
a
you're
very
helping.
empath specific problem.
Yes, it is. And I feel that as an empath, learning to look at yourself maybe from an outside's perspective
Hmm.
so that you remember to take care of you.
Yes. And
You know, um,
it's
for instance,
also,
I
we
took
want to help. We constantly want to help. And it's like, okay, you know what? Like, make it your career from 9 to 5 and then stop. And if somebody comes for help outside of that, you can say, call my office. You know, like put it somewhere where you know you're doing good, but
right,
then you can step out of it and say, no, right now, today, I don't help people today. It's Saturday or whatever it is, right? Have
right.
your time.
Have your
Have you,
time, absolutely.
yeah,
Regardless if it's 30 minutes in the morning, like you said, to sit and meditate, or it's a
absolutely.
day a week, or it's a couple of hours during the day. Hell, if it's
It's
five
true.
minutes that you got in the bathtub while the kids are screaming
Absolutely.
and somebody else is taking, take that time,
Absolutely.
because the amount of time doesn't matter. It's the fact that you're taking it. It's putting that
Yeah.
vibration out there that I'm important, that I'm worthy of care, that I'm worthy of my own care, not of other people's care, because you are only going to get back what you give to yourself.
It's true because
And
you'll start with. Oh,
don't you have products to help with relaxation that you offer?
I do. I have a few things that we do with that. I also own the Herbal Earth Apothecary. Kind of
oh,
have
nice.
used to do a lot of um, pop-up shops and craft shows and that kind of thing. Kind of got away from that. It's a lot to haul and bring around.
Oh, I can
So
imagine.
yeah, so it's kind of like something I have here, like if somebody needs something or something like that. But
Is it
kind
on
of
your
putting
website if somebody wanted to order?
No, no, nothing is
Okay.
posted on the website to order at this time. It's kind of I need to focus on this portion first before I focus on the other parts again. So we're gonna focus ahead with the Reiki and the counseling, and then bring in a couple of other things soon. We're planning to put into place some online courses. I'm in the process of getting Reiki certified to teach others to be able to be a Reiki practitioner and that kind of stuff. So,
Nice.
it's a lot of stuff that's coming down the pipe. Working on some journals and that kind of thing. So, there will be a lot of new and exciting things coming soon. So, um, just stay tuned. I don't want to say much more than that right now because I don't really have much more than that. But it's been exciting. The process of
Sounds like we're gonna need to have you back for a third time in a few
I'm
months.
sure. I'm
Right.
sure there will probably be some times where we do some collaboratives, and maybe y'all will have to be on some of our stuff because we're
Indeed.
planning to do a little bit of this kind of thing too. So,
Oh, that'd be nice.
just offering up people with the tools to better help themselves, um, and let them know that they can help themselves,
They
that they
definitely
don't
can
have
and
to.
should.
Yeah, like I feel I want to reiterate about counseling. I feel like the stigma is going down a little bit. It's been a lot better recently. But to remember that when you're sick, you go to the doctor, right? You're sick, you're not feeling good, you got a sinus infection, you schedule you a doctor's appointment. If you're feeling anxious, depressed, suicidal, homicidal, you name it, schedule you a counseling appointment. It's the same thing that you would do for your body that you need to do for your mind.
There's
You know,
certain people don't understand the link between psychology and spirituality and how closely knit they are. It's like, no, if you want to do the one, do the other. Like, absolutely, I'm
absolutely.
really, really adamant about that. Like, I
Well, I feel
think,
like they don't even understand the mind body connection. Like, before we even get into the spiritual realm of it,
yeah,
just knowing that what your thoughts turn into things,
yes,
you know?
absolutely.
I mean, you hear of, people curing themselves of diseases and that kind of stuff. Why?
Hmm.
Because they put the thought process in their head that it's going to happen. And they took the steps and actions to put that in place.
You can,
Like,
that's the whole law of attraction as well,
Absolutely.
and I believe in
A
that
law of
like
vibration as
enormously,
well.
enormously. I mean, I like coming from a magic background, like that's literally all that teaches. Like I don't really do magic per se because I just, as far as I'm concerned, like whatever I need, the universe will provide. So I'm not
Well,
trying
that's
to affect
manifesting right
anything.
there. That's
Well,
manifesting
that's
right
the
there.
thing, right? Yeah, but I'm letting the universe manifest what it wants to manifest for me. I have full trust that it'll manifest the right things for me,
Right.
which by itself is also a manifestation because I'm manifesting that there will only be good things. Which
Absolutely.
there's challenges. There's going to be bumps,
Always
challenges, fun
challenges.
stuff, all kinds of weird craziness. But all in all,
But
it'll
it's putting
always
you
be
where you
fine.
need to be, right? Yeah,
That's
it's
it.
putting you where you need to be because we had just talked about beautiful disasters, right? Of life putting you in some
Oh,
hard
okay.
places
Hmm.
where it's saying like this isn't for you now. This is time to grow. It's time to
Yep.
move forward. It's so sometimes you have things that happen in life that at the moment do not seem like the best thing ever. It could be probably the worst thing that's ever happened. And then at the moment you're going to say, "Why this? What's the reason for this?
Yep.
Like this makes absolutely no sense. Like this wasn't what I wanted. This wasn't what I asked for. This wasn't any of this, right?" And then all of a sudden out of that, whether it's months, years, sometimes it's years,
Yeah.
and you sit there and go, that's why that moment
Yep.
had to happen to get me to right here and right now.
Once you're ready for an experience, it brings it to you. It
There's
has
an
like
old
Absolutely.
time country song about that. I forgot the man's name.
oh really
Thank God for
nice.
unanswered prayers.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? That's something that's always puzzled me. Like when I hear people praying and they're like, "Please God, give me this, give me that, make it that this and that and the other thing," and I'm like, really? Like you think you know better than whatever your version of God is? You think you know better than it what you need? Like that's not the relation I have with it. I'm like, God, let me be aware of what it is I'm supposed to be doing. Don't let me try to tell you what I should be doing and what you should be providing for me. It's more like, okay, what can I do today to like to forward the plan, I don't know what to call it. The it's because it's not a destiny either, but it's like there's a plan. There's a we're all moving in a certain direction. We're all
Right.
returning to source,
Hmm.
Right.
and so when I pray, I go, okay, what? Let me know, and it like it he she does give me all kinds of signs, all kinds of stuff, all kinds of feedback, and I go, oh, okay, cool. Oh, I was wrong here. Often.
Yeah, but it's being able to admit when you have those wrongs.
It's also like, look, when you came in my life, right? Immediately, what I've learned to do now is I go, oh, okay, what is she here to teach me? Because everybody in your life is here to teach you something. It's always a
Definitely.
lesson. And so anytime you meet somebody else, you get in a new situation, whatever happens, immediately start going because what's the worst thing, right? When you don't learn a lesson, like you're constantly getting in the same relationships or the same cycles and over and over and over because you're not getting the lesson. And so I'm like, at some point I kind of went, oh, okay, that happens. So every new thing I come in, I go, okay, what's the lesson? Because the quicker I learn the lesson, the quicker I'm off to the next lesson and the next one and the next one, and then it's like a video game. Like life is like a video game. It literally is.
So if you're just joining us, we have our special guest, Aggie Thibodaux. She is a PLCP counselor and Reiki practitioner. I don't know what the PLCP means. That's why I let you introduce yourself in the
Provisional
beginning.
licensed professional counselor.
Okay. So she's located in Thibodaux. I know I see a lot of people in the area that are in the room. Um
Nice.
Dan the line says hello, Aggie.
So what's going on? You ready
Hey,
to
Danny.
move to Thibodeau? Do I need to move?
She's Thibodeau from Thibodeau. Yeah,
I need to change my
the
name and
the,
move.
the
Is that what's
town
going
was
on?
named after her family. So maybe it was. I don't know. But
It was. It was.
somewhere down the line, it was.
Well, yeah.
So we would love to interact with you. If you have any questions for us or any questions for Aggie, you can leave them in the comments, and we will be happy to answer any questions.
And hi,
Um,
everyone.
Thanks for joining us. Please share and like the live. So Aggie, last time you were with us, you had like a little mini meditation. Do you have something planned or no?
I didn't, but we can if that's what we want to do.
Okay, I was looking forward to it last time.
Oh, yeah, we can totally do
All
that. That's
right.
not a problem at all.
Sure. That sounds fun.
Yeah. All right. So everybody, find your center. Take a minute to center yourself. Maybe put both feet on the ground. Have a moment to just close your eyes and be here, here, in the here and now. Now we will take a deep breath in through our nose and out through our mouth. Releasing all the stresses of the day, allowing your body to sit comfortably in your seat, allowing total relaxation throughout your entire body, from your head to your shoulders, to your chest, to your hips, to your thighs, knees, ankles, and your feet. Allow for your whole body to be relaxed and at peace in this moment. For peace is what you want. For peace is what you need to heal whatever needs healing today. Let it be your mind, your body, your spirit. Allow whatever doesn't serve you today to leave, to go, to float away, away from your body and your mind and your spirit. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Watch as the things that no longer serve you float away in a bubble far away from you, floating away beyond your sight, past any remembering of this bubble as it goes and floats far, far away. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Remember, we can decide what we think and feel at any moment. We are in control of who we are and how we feel. So allow yourself to be relaxed just in this moment, if nothing else, just in this moment. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. as we sit here quietly in our peaceful sleep. Sing gratitude on this Thanksgiving week to all who you love and care for. Fill your heart with all the gratitude and thanksgiving for all you have in your life, for those who didn't harm you. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Slowly open your eyes and bring yourself back to the day. Thank yourself for giving yourself this moment of peace. Cards are working for you too.
Thank you.
Nice. All right, now we're all gonna
Aggie,
sit here in silence for.
do you offer gift cards or gift certificates on your
I
website?
do. I do. I actually do. They should be listed on the website. Um, Black Friday, which is coming up, day after Thanksgiving, I will be offering until Christmas buy buy 3 sessions and get a session free for yourself. So it is $150 for 3 sessions, and then you get a $60 session free for yourself. So if you want to purchase sessions for you or you want to purchase sessions for others, you can. I also do regular gift certificates of like, 1 session amount that you can purchase on my website as well.
Okay,
And
so
if
just
you
to
like,
clarify, if someone wants to purchase the 3 sessions, they can. That's 3 gifts they can give to 3 different people plus one for themselves, right?
They could, yes, they could, or they can give all those gifts to one
To
person as
one.
a three
Hmm.
session package. Yeah, and then you can keep the other session, or you can give that session to the person too. However they want to do it is fine.
Right.
And if
So
they
you
have
get
any
three.
questions, please feel free to reach out to me, give me a call, a text message, and I can we can figure
Okay.
out what you need as far as a gift and work it out.
and if you guys like that meditation, you should probably like and share. That would be awesome.
Yeah. Okay. Any questions or anything that we need to bring up before we let Aggie go?
No, on that. Well, I mean, did you want to go, or did you want to stay and chat about all kinds of other spiritual stuff if you want to? Your call. We're mad, but we're lovely. We're very lovely
Up
people.
to y'all. I mean, it's almost at the hour, so I don't know what y'all normally do.
We normally stay on for, well, last week we had a 2 hour week. But we normally like switch topics. We've been switching topics here and there. So
Yeah,
this the
yeah,
month of December we're trying to aim towards like healing. Um a lot of people get down for the holidays and they get depressed. So
We
that's why I
talked
thought
about
it would be
empaths a little bit.
a good idea to have you
yeah.
on for
Hmm.
people that are looking for are struggling through the holidays.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And though the holidays are a stressful time for a lot of people, especially with people who've lost loved ones around the holiday and they're not here and those types of things, it makes it hard. And having somebody to talk to who's an unbiased source who isn't here to judge how you feel, is always helpful. Is always helpful. Mental
Hmm.
health matters, and um, just knowing that just because it's a stressful time at the moment doesn't mean it's always going to be a stressful time. Knowing that there's also the 988 number, which is a mental health hotline number for any type of mental health issues you're having. If you're feeling suicidal, you can call that number as well.
If
And
you're
there'll
in
be
the
somebody
states,
live on the line. As far as I know, it's in the States. I think it's
yeah.
outside of the States.
If you're in the U.S.,
But
it doesn't work outside.
yeah, it's 988 is the number. And the foundation, the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, has been really promoting this number for people who need it. It's out there. When you call 911, nobody's coming to help you with this. It's not the same situation. They may come to take you somewhere, but having somebody on the other end of the line who is a professional who can help you with your mental health issues that you're having at the moment and hopefully get you to a centered space before you hang up the phone is the main goal so that we can prevent others from, going down that
Is that a
path.
text line or is that a, a talk
It's a
line?
text and call both. You can call or text 988.
We have a similar thing. It's 811 in Canada. Very
Okay.
similar. Like they'll bring you to whatever service is the right. Like they'll direct you where you need to go and whatever, depending
Hmm.
on what you're going through. But they'll help you, definitely. Don't stay. Don't ever,
Yeah.
regardless what it is, man. Like, okay, here's what I had a friend when I entered recovery. I had a friend who at some point was feeling like hell, and he wanted to use, and he was like stuck with the problem, and he didn't know who to share it with, and he was freaking out. And he literally walked out of his apartment, grabbed the first person on the street, and went, "Look, man, you got to hear this. Like, this is what's happening, blah, 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 blah." And he just went on, and the guy just froze and was kind of like, "What the heck's going on?" And he just like emptied on the guy and said, "Thanks a lot, man. You have no idea what this means to me." And he just went back up. And he was like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, that worked." And I was like, "You
What
know
it
what?
is,
If that's
Frank,
what you
it's
needed,
Yeah, just need
811
to
in
vent it to
Canada?
somebody.
like, just yeah, find
It's
some like
811 in Canada, Frank?
811, yes. I'm pretty sure it's
Yeah.
Canada wide. I don't know for sure. Let me double check here. Okay, 811 works in Quebec.
Said 988, right, Aggie?
Yeah, 988. And that's entire United States here. Anywhere you are, you can dial that number.
811 might only be a Quebec thing. I don't know what it would be. I thought it was in Ontario at least too. Okay, you can now call 811 in Ontario. So at the very least, it's Quebec, Ontario. I'm pretty sure most provinces use that same model. Quebec. Of course, it's going to give me all the ones closest to me. New Brunswick, Telecare. Yeah.
Well, I
811
ran
seems
it
to
along
be
the bottom.
BC government. Yeah. So it's every province is 811. I
Okay,
know it
so
is in
again, if
Quebec.
anyone in the chat has any questions for Aggie or for us,
Okay, here's
please
a
interact
topic.
with us.
I have a topic idea. It's something we mentioned on the page or on the site like this week, but it's jumping in and out of ego experience. I think that's something that anybody that is doing spiritual work will experience at times, and I think it's good to recognize it. And we don't always recognize it when it happens. Like we don't realize when we're acting from a deeper place and when we're acting from ego. And once you start kind of making the difference, you start noticing that every once in a while you're having a hardcore ego experience, like you're hurt about something, right? And whatever, and you're just like overreacting to it. And all of a sudden you go, "Oh wow, I'm totally in my ego now." And then all of a sudden you come to another place where you're full of empathy. And the post that made me think of the topic was because it was about empathy and saying when you're showing empathy, you're stepping out of your ego because you're now stepping in somebody else's shoes. And so I was curious to see all the other forms that takes, like all the other experiences that we may have where we actually sort of leave our ego behind, right? Like meditation for one. That's obviously a prime example. But like, does anybody understand what I'm talking about and have any experiences where you could say like, "Oh wow, at that point, like I'm stepping in or I'm stepping out of my ego"? Or am I the
I
only
feel
person?
like ego is not a bad thing. A lot of
No.
times, a lot of spiritual guidance and that kind of stuff wants to vilify the ego. Without the
Hmm.
ego, we would not be here. You have to have some self care and self worth, right?
Exactly.
Because that is important. That is part of the ego, right? It plays a part just as much as empathy and spirituality plays a part in our lives too. So I never look at the ego as a bad thing. Like a lot of times you hear that, like, oh, well, they're just acting out of ego. You need an ego. Like that's part of life,
It's
is
because they're
having the
referencing. There's an experience. There's a At some point in spiritual life, after you've made your ego healthy, you reach a certain point where, yes, there's an experience that has been called the death of the ego. But it's not the death of it's not that. Like, you're not destroying your ego. You're just you're getting over your ego. You're just pulling out that part of your personality that has control over the ego, and all of a sudden the ego becomes just another thing.
well,
The
I
same
feel
as
like it's being mindful. It's just being mindful of your actions and your thoughts, right? That is, I wouldn't call it even ego. It's you're knowing when you're acting in a place of trauma and drama, when you act, because this is where the ego that people use is our own trauma and drama that is unhealed, that we then project, mirror
yeah.
onto others. So I feel like has gotten the bad terminology for the fact of, like, it's just unhealed people dealing with things in an unhealthy way. So, if you feeling a certain way about what happened, you're allowed to have those feelings. Yes. It's what you do with those feelings.
What's
Whether
the
you
difference
take those
between a healthy
feelings,
ego and unhealthy?
yes, absolutely. Unhealthy,
Like,
is having all these traumas in your life. Like, this person may have said something wrong to you, but then that's how everybody's talked to you, right? That's how life has
yeah.
been. That's how.
Hmm.
So you taking out something on someone who has no idea about your past drama and trauma, and you're taking all of that out on them at that one
Well,
moment.
it makes me laugh.
So
Sometimes
you're
I think,
being
like,
negative and mean, right? You're being
hmm
negative and mean to somebody who probably has no idea, and the issue is way smaller than what you're making it out to be.
it makes me
Because
laugh because I
feelings are
see
not facts,
empaths.
right? So you get in
Yeah.
this moment and you go, this person is, yeah, like, this person is doing this to me. This person is trying to hurt me. When it's there, when it's a
They're not.
projection of what they have going on in their own lives. So I feel like it's a bigger
It's
thing
a
than
feedback
just,
loop.
oh, yeah, my ego made me do it. Yeah, it's a feedback thing,
No, it's not
So
your ego.
being
You
mindful
can't
of
say
those
your
moments
ego
when
made you do it.
somebody's,
Well, it depends. Okay, here's what. I know people in my life that, like, I mean, yeah, their ego made them do it. Absolutely, 100%, because they only function from their ego. It is the only place that
they're
they
not
function
mindful.
from. I mean, like, there's one guy in particular I can think of. Like, I mean, I go to his house and he's just showing me his stuff. He's just like, "Oh, look, I got this."
Look
And
what
it's
I
like,
got
okay,
here.
that's great. Like, and it's all like he's like, that conditioning that they would hope we would all have. Like, he's 100% there. Uh-oh. Oh, we had a freezing with Angie. Oh, with Aggie.
Or maybe
Oh
it's
no.
someone that needs a new car every 6 months. You know what I'm
Let,
saying?
I will attempt something to save Aggie here. See if it makes the video and
She
everything come
said
back
she
up.
died. I don't know if that means
I'm
her
gonna remove it from
laptop
the
died.
stream and then
I
bring
think her
it back.
laptop died.
Oh, that's possible. That's too bad. That was getting really good.
Okay. She put in our group chat. Oh, there she is. She's back.
No, that's me
Oh,
switching it around right now because I'm like, okay, well, nothing's working. Okay, so I'm gonna take her off for now. If we see in the little icon that she comes back, the one we see, then we'll. Oh, she vanished now. We'll see if she logs back in.
okay.
So, anyways, ego. All right. But yeah, it's people say that they say the death of the ego or and it. The problem is most of the people that say it are people that have like a really, really bruised ego.
Hmm.
They're not people that should be looking to destroy their ego. They're people that should be looking at building their ego. The reason we end up being such, like, I don't want to say victims because that's not the right way to look at it, but we end up being so at the mercy of everybody is because we don't have boundaries because we have a bruised ego. And
Mm-hmm.
so what we need to do, which seems like the opposite, because yes, they do speak of a death of the ego experience, but that happens later. If you're still coming in and suffering and going, ah, that's not where you're at. You're not
Yeah, and
killing.
it's hard to kill the ego.
You got to build the ego first. You have to absolutely, before the experience called the death of the ego has nothing to do with your ego dying. Like absolutely 0% with that. What like it's a you're the more I think the more accurate term is you're transmuting your ego. So you stop functioning because 90% of our life we function from ego. Like when I'm going to the fridge because I'm hungry, I'm going there because of my ego. My ego says like, "Hey dude, we're hungry. Let's just go get that." Now, it's very useful as a central tool for most of the stuff we do, but not for all of the stuff we do. And so now there's a part that's able to be detached and that's able to perceive the ego. That part is what makes. See, that's your higher self.
Yeah.
That is your higher self is able to perceive your ego and transmute it. So that's where they talk of the death of the ego, because you start functioning from your higher self, and so you're still functioning from the ego in you still have to go to work, you still have to feed yourself, you still have, even that monk on the mountain, he's got to eat sometimes.
That's right.
Probably not as often because he's just sitting on a mountain all day. But I mean, yeah, you know what I mean? Like we still have to function. So the ego still serves its function, but it does not make the decisions anymore. And that's a huge difference. That's where all of a sudden you've now killed the ego. You've now transmuted your ego and you've come to a place where it's an amazing place, really. But then I don't know, my experience for the very, very few moments that I've managed to taste any of that, it just goes and it goes back and forth. Sorry, I was reading we received
The
the text
comment?
from Aggie. We received from Aggie saying like her computer died, and I was looking at that. But yeah, so your ego sort of like it. Yeah, it's called a death, but it's not really a death. It's just it's a birth in a sense. You're born to a new life, a new different way of experiencing life, and that's something.
For sure.
That's something else. Well, that meditation was something else. That was nice.
Yeah, it was nice. I didn't want to open my eyes after.
I know, eh? So, anybody else in the chat room that liked that and that was there for the meditation and
Or did the meditation.
has something?
Heather, did you do it?
No, I didn't.
Well, there's honesty.
Well, I was busy,
Oh yeah, you got to try to get the podcast making sense that whole time. We're all closing our eyes and forgetting
Yeah.
about everything. Like, yeah, sure. Well,
But it
That's why
did
we
sound
do it.
relaxing, and after or in the middle of it, I was like, man, I really should have did it.
yeah, I know. It was very nice. Yeah, she's really good at that. People, you got to book her. She's very good.
So, we are going to have a nice meditation after your Thanksgiving dinner. Frank had Thanksgiving already in October. For those of you in the United States that are having Thanksgiving Thursday, have a nice meditation and be prepared for Black Friday because you will be stressed out. I will be staying home. I'll probably be meditating on Thanksgiving
was
and on
gonna
Black
say.
Friday.
Why would I be stressed out? I'm not going anywhere near Black Friday. Besides, you don't really get to save money anyways. You've never noticed that? Like, you'll go, like, it was the same thing with Boxing Day, right? I had a girlfriend at some point. We had been looking at a jacket for like 6 months. And that jacket for 6 months was about $100. And when came Boxing Day, it said jacket 50% off. Regular price $180, now $90, and it was like, yeah, you're kidding me. We're saving $10 on this stupid thing. But that's always what they do. All of a sudden, they pull out the MSRP, which is never the price that they sell something, and they go, "Oh, MSRP $200. You're getting it for $100," and you're like, "Yeah, that's what it was last week." Like, why are you? So there's, these 20 items or so in each electronic store that like everybody rushes to get. And yeah, those are a good deal. Unless you need those, don't go anywhere near the stores that day.
Things have changed so much since I've actually gone to a Black Friday sale though, because now a lot of things are just online.
Well,
Like, do
besides,
you?
now it's like Black Friday month or something.
Yeah. Do you just have to like be the first to click order? Like,
I have no idea. I don't
because
buy
I've never
stuff
done
even
that.
when it's not Black Friday. I just don't. I don't know. I don't consume much. I try not to.
So you don't have Black Friday in Canada, right?
Yeah, we do.
You just
So I
don't have
do.
Thanksgiving.
That's it.
Because Black Friday's the day after Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So do you have Thanksgiving or not?
See, that's the thing.
Apparently, people don't need a holiday to be see whatever a sale when they're gonna say sale they're running, rather there's a holiday or not.
That's exactly what it is. The holiday has no meaning at all to people. It's the presents. It's the stuff. They want stuff. They want to buy stuff. They want to have stuff.
They have a
want
big
to own
ego.
stuff. They think stuff will help make their life better. And then they swim in stuff. And then the stuff actually makes their life worse because now they're stuck in stuff. Because stuff is hard to move. It takes up a lot of room in your house. It's funny. I've always said, go to rich people's homes and look how much stuff you see. You're not going to see much. You see some things, but like it's clean. It's like very impeccable most times, right? You're like, okay. Go to a poor person's house. There's mountains of stuff. Well, yeah, of course. Why do you think they're poor? Because they buy stuff. Why do you think the rich people are rich? Because they don't buy stuff. They save their money. They use their money. They make more babies with their money, right? It's just the same initial money. They just deal with it differently. Where we buy stuff, we just go buy, and it's like, no, man. Or you can do like me and just kind of get out of the whole race and just go like, whatever, I'm going to work as little as I have to make ends meet. And
So are you having turkey for Thanksgiving or no? Or no, you won't. You having pizza.
yeah,
I know
probably.
you having pizza.
It's Thursday, you said? Yeah, there's good odds because my daughter's coming over. So a lot of times. Well, actually, no, she doesn't like it these days, so probably something else.
So see, like, people here expect to have turkey. Like over there, you just have pizza or whatever, nachos.
Well, no, you can have turkey here, but it's not Thanksgiving here.
Yeah, but it's
Thanksgiving
not
was a
like
couple months.
everybody in Canada at the same time is doing a turkey like in the United States. Not
On
everybody, but the
Thanksgiving? Yeah.
majority of the people are doing a turkey.
Thanksgiving,
Yeah,
yeah.
on your Thanksgiving
Well, yeah,
in
not on yours.
October.
Well, yeah, do you guys
Right.
do a bunch of turkeys on my Thanksgiving?
No,
Okay,
'cause
why would you?
it's not
Why would I?
Thanksgiving.
Exactly. Why would I? It's not my Thanksgiving. Like it's, that's how ridiculous all those holidays are. It doesn't matter what date you put them on. Like, and all the other holidays, like the Christian holidays, Easter and Christmas and all those, they're basically the equinoxes and the solstice, disguised because, well, you couldn't have a pagan celebration. Are you kidding me? It needed to be a Christian celebration. And so at each of those 4 points in time, we created a Christian celebration, which resembled the pagan celebration by a lot. Putting stuff in the tree, that was
Somebody
a pagan
had
thing.
to say this is how it's done, so they changed it to pagan.
Yes,
maybe.
okay, even the... I mean, I hope we don't have a whole bunch of Christians watching us right now because they won't like me, but even the image we have of the devil, right, with the hoofs and the horns and whatever, that's an image of the god Pan. There is not a single description anywhere in the Bible of the devil. Like, nowhere do you find that description of the devil. The reason that became the image of the devil was because back then the Roman god Pan was very popular. And so they said, if we take that god and we say that's the devil, then all those people that like that god are now liking the devil. So now we can chastise them and they can come in our religion because we're very accepting and we're very nice and we will love them as long as they believe in our God. So that's
Well, they
pretty
do
much how
have
that
those.
went.
Do have a few movies where like the devil is presented like in a person's body or something, like, you know what I'm saying.
The devil's
Um,
our ego. It's that simple.
I know, but like their vision of it is
Yeah, I know.
not portrayed with like a red little horn or something.
Yeah, it's like all versions of the same. It's like, yeah, we we like even the actual book, even the Bible, like it's a good book. It's a great book. It's just the religion that was built around it that
Hmm.
took the book. And I mean, okay, name me any other book ever that I can go to a library completely dedicated in giving me an explanation to that other book. I can go to an entire library the size of, like, a fair decent size and shop around for books that are giving me interpretations of the Bible.
Oh yeah, hundreds.
Yeah, is there any other book that I can go get 150 books that will explain the book to me, or do I just read the book? So why do I not do that with the Bible? Why not just read the book and then make up your own mind? Say, okay, yeah, that was a good book. That's what it said. Right? Why
'Cause
do you have somebody tell you what the book says? Do you
I think
become stupid
it
when
may
you open the
be,
Bible?
it could be because the language in the Bible is so different than what normally, I don't want to say normal people, than most people speak. So they, I don't know. I don't know.
Could it also be control?
It could be.
Because it's a lot
Or,
easier to control people if you control how they sleep, how they eat, how they
I mean, it
have
could be a lot of
sex.
things.
Well, it was mostly control. There's a long history there that's already been exposed, but the Christian, like, yeah, in the history, that religion did a whole bunch of stuff. I'm not saying all Christians today are bad people. That's not what I'm saying at all. And a lot of them are. There's people from every walk
We're
of
not saying it's
life.
not the way to be either, because it's your
No,
choice
there's
of what
people
you
from
want to
every
be.
walk of life that are spiritual people reaching different levels all the way to enlightenment, and they come from all faiths, they come from all places, they come from, so, like, I don't think there's one truth that fits everybody. Like, it's all talking about the same thing. That's what we all need to realize, is that whether you're talking about, whatever God, whatever version of it you have, it's one explanation. So take them all. It's like if I went in a room and there was one person that we were all looking at, and we were given the opportunity, or, I have 10 people that are given the opportunity to look at the one person and then come back out and tell me what they saw. And from that, I have to say, this is the person. Well, if I take one of the accounts, because they're all different, and I go,
Hmm.
that's the one, that's what that guy must have been like, and discount the other 9, I'm kind of being dumb, because all 10 are talking about that guy. And so if I
Hmm.
take all 10 and I take bits and pieces of everything they're saying, I can get a much more complete image of what it is I'm trying to learn about. But we don't do that. The Egyptians did. The Egyptians were very smart. They most cultures, when they met each other and they had different gods, they started fighting over whose god was the right god,
Hmm.
right? The Egyptians had understood that the gods represented elements of nature, elements of the human, whatever. And so when they met each other, they would go, "Oh, okay, well, which one is your sun god?" And one would say Amun, and the other one would say Ra, and then they would go, okay, great, let's make a new god. It'll be called Amun Ra. And they would make a new god. And they did. Like, there's hundreds and hundreds of gods. Like, it is the most confusing like, the main gods remain, so you're okay, kind of. But, wow, like, the Egyptians were something else. Like, they I don't know what was in their minds, but, yeah, it was completely insane. But it worked. Because they mapped it really well. Because that's all they did. It's all, every single, oh, I wish Aggie was still with us. Every single pantheon is basically an advanced form of psychology, is all it is. They discovered that we had, what's the word I'm looking for? What would Jung call them? Archetypes, right? They discovered that we had archetypes, and they went all out. They said, whoa, check this out, archetypes. Yeah, let's do some archetypes, man. And they just built a shitload of them and called them gods. But those are the archetypes. Those are all the inside workings of us personified. And so when you work with them, when you learn about them, you can learn about yourself in the process. But it needs to be open. Like, I mean, I've learned as much from Christianity as I've learned from Buddhism, as I've learned from everywhere.
Yeah, and you probably resonate with a little bit from each.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's funny
But it
because
doesn't make one right and one wrong or one better than the other.
no. And,
So
you know,
it's
I'll
okay
say
to
this
go
about
with either or your own.
And I'll say this about Christianity, but the truth is, I resonate excessively with the story of Jesus. Like, excessively, but not in the same way they do. That's all. It's just, but it resonates with me. Like, I get a lot out of that. But it's, no, like, people, we gotta get out of this I'm right, you're wrong mentality. It's I'm right, you're right. What do you have to bring me? Like, what new thing are you bringing to my life? Like, how can I
And
learn
then
from you?
the world would go so much smoother.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can, but that's the thing. No, the world. Here's the deal. Why is the world not running well? Because we're not. If you start running well, the world will start running well. Like, it'll still be the world, but it'll run well.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's doing the exact same thing it was doing yesterday. But it'll be different because you're different. That's the only. So no, the world doesn't need us. The world's good. If we fix our
And that's
insides,
the
the
same
world
thing
gets
about.
fixed.
That's the same thing as saying, like, if you want somebody to change yourself, and their reaction to you will change. That's how
They
you
might leave.
change them.
Yeah, they might
Not
leave.
yeah, but if they leave, they wasn't meant to be there.
Well, they just weren't of that vibration. As we switch vibrations, like that's. Here's the deal. The more you're going to change vibrations in your life, the more you're going to go through crowds and you're going to go through and you're going to make friends and you're going to lose those friends and you're going to because every time you reach the next level, not all of your friends can follow. Not everybody you know can follow in that on that vibration.
That's why
So,
people come and go.
yeah, so the people that don't vibrate kind of just gravitate away and the people that are in for the new vibration, but it's a process, right? People are always like, "Oh my god, I lost a person. This is horrible." And it's like, "No, maybe it's not horrible. Maybe it's because now you've shed, it's like somebody compared life to a snake shedding their skins, right? That's what we do. We constantly shed skins on like through life. So we're becoming the next person and then the next person and then the next person, but we're constantly becoming a new person.
Hmm.
And so at the same time, when you hear couples break up and say, well, you became a different person, sometimes, yeah, that's exactly what it is it's not the same person, for better or for worse. Even if the person became better. Like, here's an example. Somebody's in a crappy abusive relationship, right? But they're a yes person. They always say yes to everybody, and so everybody walks all over them. And all of a sudden, they start saying no to people. They start respecting themselves. They change that. Well,
Those people won't
now,
come around anymore.
well, that's it. Now they're going to start not gelling with and they're going to go, okay, you know what? I got to leave this place. They're going to leave that place. And then other people in their life are going to fall off. And all of a sudden they'll be like, well, what did I do? No, you did the right thing. You're now moving into your new life. But it requires time to build. It doesn't happen overnight. You don't all of a sudden switch and have 5 new friends. And no, it could take it could take years sometimes. It can take months, whatever. But there's a healing process, and when that's done, now you're, you know, and the quicker you got the lesson, the less there's going to be healing necessary. The longer it took you to get the lesson, the more life had to throw it at you in more hardcore way every time, so you'd eventually get it. So yeah, it's gonna hurt more because life will try to give you the lessons repeatedly until you get them. There's no way around any of the lessons. Like when you feel it, when you go.
No, you have to feel it to move on and
Yeah.
to grow stronger and to get better.
That's it. Once
And
you're
to
there and
evolve.
you know, you go, okay, I'm there. But the quicker you're able to get through it, the quicker you get to the other side, and the other side is always good. Nobody's gone through like much of life making decisions for themselves that were, you know, let's say that were perceived as the healthy decision, and went on the other side to go, oh crap, I shouldn't have. That never happens, right? People always end up, oh wow, this changed my life for the better. Well, yeah, because now you honored you. That will always change you. The more you honor yourself, the more you'll change your life for the better, anytime. And it doesn't mean becoming self-centered. It just means honoring yourself and also allowing room for others to be themselves. Where self-centeredness would be only allowing room for yourself and wanting everybody else to allow room for you.
Okay, so if anyone has any questions, interact with us in the comments. Um,
We want to
we're
hear from you
happy
guys.
to answer your questions, and
Who's all with us
we
still? We'd like to hear from you guys. Don't be shy. Okay,
so
don't
our
be
next
shy.
episode is going to be next week on Thursday, December the 1st at 7 Central, 8 Eastern time. Um, Tonight we are on episode 18. It's been 18 weeks already.
I know, eh? That's pretty cool.
And if you're just joining us, we had a guest. You might want to go back and watch the beginning. We had Aggie Thibodaux with us tonight, um, telling us about her new things she's added to her business with counseling and Reiki and breath work and all the fun stuff she's added. Um, Other than that, I guess, Frank, anything else are we going to talk about, or are we going to end the live?
Well, I think that's a pretty good ending right there. I don't know if this week we have an ending video or
Yep, we sure do.
there we go. So I guess we'll wish you guys a wonderful week, and try to come and interact with us on the page. And we have a group too. Look up what's the name of our group? Is it Live with Jill and Frank?
Yeah.
Okay, it's Live with Jill and Frank podcast because I had created Live with Jill and Frank. Anyhow, we had a mess up, so Live with Jill
Yeah.
and Frank podcast.
On the
Look up
Facebook
that
group.
group and come and interact with us. We'd love you.
Have a happy Thanksgiving for those of you in the United States. Sorry I'm late for those of you in Canada and around the world. Those of you who don't celebrate Thanksgiving, just have a good week. Happy holiday season. Here's the video.
Lots of love.